So today we are going to discuss this common freezing, the June 2025, uh, given. Right. So I'm sure that you are familiar with the freezing given, and you may have right gone through the freezing and have some uh, sort of idea about this. Therefore, I think my work is much convenience and much easier uh, to discuss this freezing document. Uh, So if you look at about the name given here, it's called common freezing. Why it is called common freezing? This is applicable for uh, all the four papers of the subject level. SL1, SL2, SL3, SL4. So since this is applicable for all the subjects at subject level, uh, when we go through the freezing, we may find some of the information that is not relevant for SL4 instead that may be relevant for SL1, SL2, and SL3. So for such information, we don't want to give much attention on that. So we have to focus more on the information relevant in the SL4. Right. So you know why this is called freezing. Normally, it's issue 1 month prior to the exam. In your case, actually, since SL4 subject is delayed, you may have more than 2.5 months the free seat. Then the objective is to get familiar with the free seat information given. Then what will happen in the exam, in the real exam, there will be an unseen part. Uh, the scenario given here will be extended further in the unseen part. Uh, when you are going to answer the paper, you have to use both the pre-seen plus unseen element to develop the answer. But if you look at about the previous paper, this unseen part is very small. It's not the lengthy one. It is a very small one. Uh, Therefore, what is expected is to use more knowledge in the phrasing. So you have to use the knowledge more given in the receipt when you are answering for the paper. So applicability of unseen is very limited. So that's an advantage to familiarize with the freezing informations and apply the strategic model and right. So then that will be an advantage for you. The real exam, some of the models that you have already applied will be tested. In such scenario, will be able to answer them well. So that's the advantage you will have, right? Right. So we start the quizzing given. Look at about the topic name given here. The given topic name is the empowering digital change. So empowering digital change. When you see that particular word, what do you think? Any hint on the receipt email? Now he's talking about the digital change. Topic is digital change. Then what can happen in the real exam? So what can happen is there may be some areas which can be tested, especially related with the technological aspects. So that is a hint that you have when you look at about the topic of the precinct, empowering digital change. right? So we'll look at about the instructions given first. Say Singtel Lanka PLC STL, similar to SLT, no? Sri Lanka Telecom, right? Singtel Lanka PLC is one of the largest mobile operator in Sri Lanka. So one of the largest mobile operator in Sri Lanka, based in Colombo, the company delivers advanced mobile telephony and high-speed mobile broadband services to an economic subscriber base of 15 million Sri Lankan. So if you look at about the given company, Steel is one of the largest mobile operators in Sri Lanka, and they operate in from Colombo. So they normally use advanced mobile telephony and high-speed mobile broadband service. Their subscriber base is almost around 15 million. The population is 21 million. So they have subscribers of 15 million. So you can get an idea about their strength in the market, right? So they are very strong player in the, right? So you are conducting a SWOT analysis. So this is one of the factor you can consider. So you can consider this one as a strength. They have 15 million Sri Lankan as a customer base. So that can be identified as a strength, right? So, right. Then the next thing you will need is the history about the company. History about the company. Now, in any case study, actually, seminar talk about the history. So, introduction, so what exam has done, we introduce for this organization. We found that this is a mobile operator and identify what are the different type of other industries they operate. Now, under the history, examiner talk about uh, how this company has been old in the past, right? So look at about the history part. Singtel Lanka was incorporated as a private limited company in 1999. 80% equity through Singapore Telecom PLC. So what is the year they have established in the market? Is in 1999. So the company was incorporated as a private limited company. This was a private limited company initially. And if you look at about the ownership, it say that with 80% equity through Singapore Telecom PLC, 80% equity through Singapore Telecom PLC, and 20% by Lionel Jayasundar as the local investment promoter. There are two main investors. The first one is Singapore Telecom PLC. They own 80%. So from their point of view, so this is subsidiary since more than 80% ownership with them. There's an individual also who has invested 20% of the capital of this particular organizations. Lionel Jayasundar. Now the next thing is exam is providing some information related with the Lionel. Lionel is an engineer with an MSc and a PhD in telecommunication. On its commencement, Lionel was appointed as the Chief Executive Officer, Director of Singtel Lanka PLC. Highly qualified guy. So he's an engineer. He's having a MSc as well as he's having a PhD in telecommunications. So at the beginning of this organization, he was appointed as the CEO of this organization, CEO plus the director. of the organizations, right? Uh, then in 2000, Singtel Lanka Private Limited began commercial operations of the 6 mobile operating Sri Lanka. Now, see, if you look at about the information, this company was incorporated in 1999. Even though it was established in 1999, and the commercial operation began in 2000 after almost 1 year period. And they were the number 6 mobile operating Sri Lanka. At present, I think this number has been drastically reduced. We have Dialog, we have Mobitel, then Airtel, we have Hush. The mainly 4 players you can find the market nowadays. Right? So the company initially remains its business to provide mobile telecommunication services, but its product portfolio now consists of fixed telecommunications. Now, see, initially, right, they commenced their business as mobile telecommunication service provider. But subsequently, they add more businesses to their portfolio. They add fixed communications as well as mobile broadband services and digital pay television services. Right. So in 2023, STL became the market leader in Sri Lanka's mobile sector. Very important information. So initially, it was mentioned that they are one of the main players in the industry. But subsequently, say, in 2023, STL became the market leader in Sri Lanka's mobile sector. So we can assume that still they are the market leader in Sri Lanka's mobile sector. So it is similar to Dialog, no? Am I correct? Right? If you look at the mobile telecoms industry, Dialog is the market leader in Sri Lanka. Right. So then Lionel currently is 69. He's a very unconventional and eminent businessman. He has been in the telecom industry for over 4 decades, and his dedications has been the catalyst for his 20 years success. So there are some information about the CEO. Now at the moment he's 69 years old. Normally, as per the governance code, he can involve with the company until 70 years. So you can't become a board member after 70 years. That's the regulations, right? So now, if you look at about the history, he has been in the industry, telecom industry for over 4 decades, right? And his dedication has been the catalyst for STL success. Now, when you read this part, so that provides some insight information about the leadership style of the Lionel. Leadership style. So in the exam, this can be tested. For example, Lionel is a visionary leader. He had a vision and he achieved. So in 2023, they became the market leader. Right? Even the transformational leadership can be applied. So we can say it's a transformational leader, someone who has changed the company. Right? Ultimately, they were able to become the market leader status. Right? In 2023, the GSM Exclusion Honors Guide with the outstanding contribution to the Asian mobile industry award. More the National Chamber of Commerce acknowledging the top performing CEO in 2020 and 2021. So that indicate the his brand name, how strong he is in the market. He was honored as outstanding contribution to the Asian mobile industry award. It's not only that he was cited as one of the top performing CEOs in 2020 as well as 2021. Right? This information is very important one. Right? You can use these informations for different analysis. Right. Then the timeline has been given. Done the history of the company. Just check the timeline to Well, if you look at about the timeline given here, so actually their commercial operation was commencing to 2000. Commercial operation was commencing 2000, but company was registered in 1999. In 2017, what has happened? They acquired a fixed telecommunication provider and a satellite TV network. Two companies were acquired. One is a fixed telecommunication provider, other one is satellite TV network. Now, there is a very interesting event took place in 2019. This organization was listed in the Colombo Stock Exchange. The company was listed in Colombo Stock Exchange in 2019. So that's a significant event. Why that is so important? When you are a registered company in the Colombo Stock Exchange, right, you have more opportunity to get more funds. At the same time, there are more compliance applicable for you, right? So not like private limited company, more compliance to be adhered. In 2023, right? So it has become the largest telecommunication provider in Sri Lanka. That information was given earlier also. It mentioned that here see this in 2023, STL became the leader in Sri Lanka's mobile sector. So that's correct. That the strength we are conducting a short answers for these organizations. In the number 4, company's vision, missions, and values. Company's vision, missions, and values. STL aim to harness technology to empower people and businesses and create a more sustainable future. It say it's STL aims to harness technology to empower people and business and create a more sustainable future. It aspires to be a leading communication digital service provider. They want to be the leading communication and digital service provider. The company believes that the world is a better place when technology is used to help people and businesses communicate effortlessly. STL make communication easier, faster, and more reliable for customers while delivering value to its stakeholders. Now, what do you think? Now, if you look at about the subtopic name, it's employee as vision, missions, and values. Now, later you can find the core values of the company. It is given, but you look at about the vision, mission. Have they identify vision, mission separately, or are they identify that part as one statement? Now, they have identified it as a one statement. They have not identified two different vision and mission for these organizations. One, vision and missions has been identified. Now, the challenge is to demarcate those two. Right? For example, STL aim to harness technology and empower people and business and create a more sustainable future. There should be a problem you can take as part of our missions. They aspire to be a leading communication digital service provider, to be a leading communication digital service provider, right? So that may be identified as visions, right? The company believes that the world is a better place when technology is used to help people and businesses communicate effortlessly. So that should be a part of the missions. Then we still make communications easier, faster, and more reliable for customers while delivering value to stakeholders. So that also can be considered as a part of the missions. So openly when we are defining the mission statement, we try to communicate what we are going to do for the main stakeholders of the company. Delivering value to the stakeholders is one of the main part normally identified with the mission statement. So that can be considered as part of the missions. Right. Now, see this vision, missions and values are given separate as a subtopic number. So what is the importance of that? There's a possibility to test vision, missions, and values in the exam, especially the vision and missions. Right? He may ask you to demarcate the vision and missions from the given statement, or he may ask you to improve the vision statement given, or the mission statement, improve the mission statement. And therefore, I think this point is very important element in your exam. So do whatever the analysis you can relate with this number 4. Right. So two possible scenarios. One is demarcate and identify vision separately. And the second thing is he may ask you to improve the given vision and mission statement. Both are possible in your exam. Then what examiner say is the core value of the company are as follows. The core values of the company are as follows. They have given the values of the company. What are the values of these organizations? Integrity, operating integrity. So put customers first, maximize teamwork, innovate with the challenger spirit, take ownerships, cultivate a growth mindset, operate with integrity. I see. So these are some of the examples for the values. Right? Values, these organizations. So I can't find much issue actually. Similar to these values, right? You can find right, some values in other companies. Nothing wrong with the values given. Teamwork, right? Then the integrity, innovations, then customer centricity. Those are very common values you can identify. Here also, we can identify some similar values. Therefore, I don't think that exam will ask you to evaluate the values given on the company and ask you to improve them. I don't think so. Right? Then, what it says, explaining the values of them. STL seek to cultivate a growth mindset, stay curious, learn and grow and innovate the next big idea, company operate with integrity and the highest ethical standard, doing what is right and not what is easy. STL is passionate about delivering the best customer experience and your interaction counts. Teamwork is at the heart of STL successes and the company innovate the challenges great, not staying safe and relying on ways and processes, but doing things differently, pushing boundaries and create a better world for future generations. So they explain the values given in there. Right? STL also take ownership and grow on a commitment to delivering impact and be the best. Right. Then the number 5, the group structure of the organization has been given. Group structure has been given. The summarized group structure of STL is as follows. Swiss our parent, Singapore Telecom PSC. Initially, it was mentioned that they acquire 80% of this Sintel Lanka PS. Right? Then Sintel Lanka PLC is having 2 other organizations. One is the 90% holding of PF1 Private Limited. Other one is 100% holding of Mr. TV Private Limited. Now, if you look at about the initial information given about the history, right, what we can assume is one can be the fixed telecommunication provider. That Payphone Private Limited is probably the fixed telephone operator. Then the other one mentioned is a satellite TV network. So if you look at about the Vista TV, satellite TV network, this STL on 100%. That means they have the full ownerships. But if you look at the fixed telecom service provider, that is Payphone Private Limited here, only 90% ownership of that. Right. Any questions up to that point, guys? Right. Then number 6, life at HTL. So life at HTL. STL is committed to building a sustainable future for its stakeholders, climate change and environment, community impact, people and future of work, and sustainable development are the 4 key sustainable pillars of the company. The example the mention about the sustainability, right? Uh, So what are the 4 pillars mentioned? One is climate change and environment. The second one is community impact. Third one is people and future of work. People and future of work. The fifth one is sustainable value creations. The fourth one. So fourth one is sustainable value creations. Right? Uh, Now this climate change and environment. So we all know that climate change is happening. For example, you can see some flash flood taking place in Europe, right? Even USA, even in Sri Lanka. So what has happened is always raining in certain areas. Even Hambantota, they are facing that problems, right? Uh, so that's the first sustainability pillar we are focusing. The community impacts, community impact, then people and the future of work, right? Sustainable educations. Those are the 4. Then STL want to positively impact the stakeholders by leveraging its resource and people and working closely with strategic partners. The company recognized that if industry can lead to unintended consequences, STL sustainability strategy aim to create shared value and reduce risk to the company, stakeholders, and the environment. Now, if you look at about this para, initially it said that STL want to positive impact with stakeholders. We want to do something positive to our stakeholders. How do we want to do this? One is using our resources and people, at the same time working closely with our strategic partners. The company recognized that this can lead to unintended consequences. So some of the unexpected thing can happen in our industry, right? Then STL's sustainability strategy to create shared values and reduce for the company. So we have a sustainability strategy. The objective of the sustainability strategy is to create shared value and reduce risk for the company, stakeholders, and the environment. STL has won many awards as a top employer and received coverage from the national press. The leadership team is well trusted by the employees. Plus point, strength of these organizations. So they have won many awards. For example, Top Employee Award. But in the newspapers, there are some positive news published about these organizations. When we look at about our leadership team, they are well trusted by the employees. Employees respect them, accept their words. Those are strength impact. In number 7, the key performance indicators of STL has been given. Now, you look at about the information schema. Now, look at this mobile subscriber base. In 2024, they have almost 15 million customer base. Initially, in 2010, they had only 4.35 customers. Gross has been increased throughout the period. Profit has been increased. Net profit has been increased. Even the earning per share has been increased. Earning per share has been increased. Return on capital employed has been increased. At the same time, the debt ratio has also been increased. What do you think? Is that a positive sign or is that a negative sign? Increase in debt ratio. So that indicate that our risk related to the debts has been increased. That's not a good scenario. Now this can be identified even as a weakness. It's not acceptable to have 72% debt ratio. Right. And after that, this financial review has been given. The applicability of financial review subject is very limited. And you will go through STL financial result for 2024 were in line with the expectation for the year. The consolidated revenue was recorded as the highest ever in financial year 2024 at 120 billion. Correct now, its revenue is 120 million. Right. Demonstrating a growth of 10% year on year. So 10% growth we are achieving. The gross profit recorded a strong double-digit growth of 12%. 41.73 million despite the increase in poverty levels and the social crisis financial year 2022 and financial 2023. Right. So, nice really good situations. The company achieved significant net profit after tax of 10.41 10.41 billion financial year 2023. Is that true that the net profit after tax 10.41? Correct. Here, see this, you can see the figure 10.41. This remarkable recovery was driven by across the board top line growth in all business segment, mainly from mobile, fixed telecommunication, and broadband market. 30% growth over financial year 2023. When you look at about this growth, actually this was mainly contributed from the mobile, 60% and broadband. Now, something is missing. One segment is missing. So that indicates that one segment is not performed. What is segment that is not performing well? They have not mentioned one segment here. Now, initially we identified 4 segments of their business. Mobile, fixed telecommunication, broadband, what is the other one? TV, no? Now see, they have not mentioned about the TV. That means TV is not in those situations. The satisfactory performance increased STL EPS to 5.18 in financial year 2024 from 3.93 in the previous year, an increase of over 32%. Earning per share, yes, 3.93 in 2023. It has increased 5.1. The board of directors has proposed a cash dividends to ordinary shareholders of 1 to 3 per share for financial 2024 compared to 4 share in financial 2023. Can they do it? Yes. Because earning per share is 5.18. So we are going to distribute only 3 rupees. 2.1 is remain in the business, retained in the business. The dividend payout has also increased in financial year 2024 from 51 in the corresponding year. Right. So dividend payout has also been increased. Overall book return were broadly maintained with a healthy ROCE of 9% and 9.80% on a pre-tax basis and 6.6% on a post-tax basis. Return on capital employed has also been increased throughout the period. As at 31st December 2024, the group liabilities were 132 million, an increase of 950 million from a year ago. Seem to be considered. Our leverage situation is not good, right? So our debt has been increased, right? So now it's 132 million. The increase was largely due to cash inflow from long-term borrowing. Consequently, the debt ratio was 1.99 in financial year 2024 from 69.5% the year before. So we are in a risk situations. 72% debt ratio. So that's not a favorable situation. It's a threatening situation for us. During the financial year 2024, the market price of STL shares varied from the lowest of 21.25 to the highest of 25.25. The year-end market price was recorded at 24.55. Right. So the share price has been varied. The lowest price was 21.35 and highest price was 25.25. Right. Then the business strategy, that part should be very important, more relevant to our subject. Business strategy part is more relevant to our subject. STL successfully employed a service duties business strategy to increase profitability and at your higher sales volume from new services. Now see what it says. It says STL successfully employed the service distribution strategy. Right, service distribution strategy for what purpose? To increase profitability and achieve higher sales volume from new service. The company began as a small mobile operator in 1999. You know that facts. Over time, they expanded into a segment with the same industry, including digital company, broadband service, and digital pay television. Already known facts. Right, it has been mentioned in places. STL is one of the largest companies in Sri Lanka with the market capitalization exceeding 49 billion on 31st December 2024. The company's success can largely attribute to its equitized user. So we identify this company as the number one telecom service provider. So examples go beyond from that point a little bit and identify this one as one of the largest companies in China. Right? And it has given the market capitalization value also 49 billion. Now see revenue the growth which has been given. Mobile industry, so nothing wrong. And even fixed telephone and broadband service also, really concerned about the televisions now. So we can't see much profit here. So we can assume we need to look at about the net profit. So sometime this television company maybe suffer some losses, right? That may be the reality. Earlier also in one place the TV was not mentioned, right? See this here. This remarkable return was driven by across the board top line growth in all business segment, mainly from mobile, fixed telecommunication, and broadband. So they have not mentioned about the TV here as the growth contributors. Other three segments have been mentioned, but not the mobile, sorry, on the TV. Next one, what it says, STL is now moving to expand its business to product and fields that are unrelated to current business activities. And now they are trying to expand their business activities by going beyond the existing industry. Look at the diversification, you know that there are two types of diversification, related and unrelated diversifications. Now here they try to apply the unrelated diversification, not the related diversifications. You may remember when we look at about the related diversifications, there are two options, vertical expansion and horizontal expansion. When you look at the vertical expansion, again two options, backward integration and the forward integrations. Then number 10, strategic business initiatives. STL concluded several significant transactions during financial year 2017. Of the most notable was the acquisition of a fixed telecommunication provider and satellite TV network. The team permission was given earlier also. In 2017, when we cut about the timeline, you can see in 2017, they mentioned that this organization acquired a fixed telecommunication provider and a satellite TV network. So that information has been given again here. Right. Then 10.1. So now they're going to talk about the two companies separately. The fixed mobile service provider as well as the other one is the team, satellite TV network. Here is 10.1 or 10.2 with the satellite TVS. Now, Payphone Private Limited was incorporated in 2005 as a fixed telecommunication provider, offering services such as landline and fixed internet connectivity line. So, Payphone Private Limited is a fixed telecommunication provider. The company experienced rapid growth in its first decade of operation and successfully reached the milestone of 2 million customers in 2015. So, their customer base is 2 million in 2015. Most of the PPL customers were corporate clients who had transitioned from the government operator fixed telecommunication service. And most of the customers are corporate clients, not the individuals. The company's success can be attributed to its extended customer care, superior after-sales service, and the availability of service at compared to prices. Strength of this organization, Payphone Private Limited, superior after-sales service, availability of service at compared to prices, extended customer care. In 2016, the company was ranked second in the sector in terms of fixed telecommunication. Even the fixed telecommunication industry, this organization has been ranked as number 2. In information technology serves as the backbone of modern telecommunication. PPL was required to invest significantly in technology to increase customer service and upgrade its broadband infrastructure PL standard. Was securing substantial amount of additional capital while making optimal capital structure for a challenging task for PPL. Not easy, no? Right? Secure a substantial amount of additional capital may not be possible. STL identified the business opportunity and enter into a share purchase agreement to acquire 90% of the ordinary shares from PPL current shareholders in 2017. The merger crystallized economic of scale and combined share per investor capacity. The SPA signed between the STL and PPL on 31st March 2017 at an price below 8.75 billion. The business was value based on the earning based valuation technique. That is how good things happened in the past. Right? Payphone company and that was acquired in 2017. Right. Then PPL's operating profit and net profit have shown significant growth in 2013. The company's forecasted profitability is above the market average. Since projected earnings are crucial in determining company value, Still apply price to earning ratio as an earning multiple capital price value. That's not relevant to our subject. P ratio reflects the market percent of the company portion and prospect. Since PPL is an unlisted private limited company, the proxy PE ratio from a similar listed company was used. That's non-factional in financial management. Right? Not relevant to our subject. Then 10.2, acquisition of Western TV Private Limited. Right? So that's the second one we acquired in 2017. Similar to TV, for example. Another significant event in 2017 was the acquisition of Vista TV Private Limited, VTV, a satellite television network. VTV business model involved distributing satellite signal from geostationary satellite to small dish antennas and satellite receiving installed in homes and business. They explained the business. The company was incorporated in 2010 and had approximately 400,000 customers by 2016. Over the years, the way people assess entertainment and news has evolved despite the emergence of new technology that progressing this content. Satellite have remained a consistent relevant in our perception. VTV is a family-owned company with the majority shareholders equity. VTV has not declared dividend despite being the highest, highly profitable business in inceptions. The company has chosen to reinvest its profit in enhance shareholder value. That's a good opportunity for us. VTV has also generated significant annual cash flow. In those, the average spend of VTV customer from the start of business until 2016, as illustrated below. It is almost average 1,500 now in 2016. As part of the STL investment study, the company approached VTV regarding potential acquisition in 2017. Several business valuation methods were discussed at board level to evaluate VTV equity value, STL estimate the future annual cash flow after tax and then discounted this cash flow using the appropriate cost of capital. The head of corporate finance and still believe that the discount cash flow method is more theoretically sound for business. I don't really want to our subject if you know the business effectively capture the present value of future cash flows and aim to maximize shareholder wealth. The cost of capital used for discounting is considered the systematic research with the cash flow. They explain about the two companies we have acquired. Right? One is that the Payphone Private Limited, fixed line. The next one is the TV. Right? TV. Right. Did they explain about the basics of accounting? STL account for business combination using the acquisition method of accounting. Accordingly, the identifiable asset acquired, the liabilities by the acquirer is reported the acquisition date fair values. Group is to value the non-controlled interest at fair value at the date of acquisition. Intercompany transaction balances and the unrealized gain on transaction between both companies are eliminated. The goodwill that arise from a business combination is not amortized by STL, but it is tested for impairment annually. Not a note of something, no accounting. Then business plan, that should be relevant for us. Business plan. So what is the information given here? Now what is C? STL is now focus on corporate level service diversification by expanding to new industries that lie outside the scope of its current product portfolio. CC, read that one very carefully. STL is now focus on corporate level service diversifications by expanding new industries that lie outside the scope of its current product portfolio. Moving on to diversifications. This type of diversification involves adding service to STL that are significantly unrelated. See, it is mentioned, significantly unrelated and have no technological or commercial similarities. STL should always overall risk by investing across various industries, reducing its reliance on single sector. That's good from risk management point of view. I say that don't put all the eggs into one basket. In portfolio management, yes. So it's more risky one. the current situation, but they are suggested to overcome that weakness, right? A board paper was submitted to seek initial approval for a significant investment in the education sector. Two investment opportunities were in fight. Now we have identified two opportunities. The corporate finance team was tasked with evaluating these options. Two options. Option one involved acquiring a well-established higher education establishment that has been operating since 2019. That's one option you have. You can acquire existing player, education institute. Second one is option two is to launch a new private campus to offer undergraduate and postgraduate programs in the Republic of Maldives. You are trying to establish a campus, right? Not in Sri Lanka, in Mali. STL long-term weighted average cost of capital serve as discount rate typically ranging from 12% to 14% for discounting cash flow projections. However, the corporate finance team believe that STL cannot evaluate these investment opportunities using its current back as the company is entering into different. Again, reluctant from not clear with our subject. Now, the two options are explained. Right. So, option one, the option one given here, Bristol College, Colombo. It's a tertiary education institution that provides world-class education in Sri Lanka at a uh, at an affordable price for students. In tertiary education institutes, right? Uh, so they provide world-class education in Sri Lanka at an affordable price for students. Currently, the college offers both postgraduate and undergraduate program. Now, so tertiary education now should be degree and above. So they offer postgraduate and undergraduate program in business administration, accounting, and finance, awarded by a leading top-ranked university in the UK. And they are connected with the UK, affiliated with the UK university. The undergraduate programs are conducted by the Lead Institute of Business Studies, the 100% owned subsidiary of BCC. BCC operates as private limited company, and therefore it was proposed that the equity beta of the list expertise was to define the cost of equity and submit the VAT for the business valuation. Again, the projected free cash flow to the firm for BCC over the next 3 years is outlined below. All amount are Sri Lankan rupees. Cash flow has been given, but that's not relevant to our subject. However, the change in working capital is anticipated to increase by 10 million per annum over the first 3 years, and it has not been factored into the above projected free cash flow to the firm tax. Option number two, what is option number two? Should be the Male investment. Option two involves international investment. The proposal is to lease a suitable building in Mali, city located in the Republic of Maldives, and establish a fully trained private campus in cooperation with the top-ranked UK university, which will serve as a degree awarding body. Now, the first one is first option was to acquire a local tertiary education, who conduct undergraduate and postgraduate program. But option two is not a local investment. This is an international investment. International investment. The proposal is to lease a suitable in Male city, located in the Republic of Maldives, and establish a fully trained private campus in collaboration with top-ranked UK university. It will serve as a degree awarding body, similar to this proposal, but here only difference is we are moving to Mali. And we affiliated with the UK University, so we are going to offer decrease. The corporate finance team of STL has conducted an initial investment appraisal considering the expected cash inflows and outflows in Maldivian rupiah. Now, it was later determined that some cash outflow would need to be incurred by STL in the Sri Lankan rupees. In addition to forecast exchange rate, the corporate finance team is now examining overseas tax issues, intercompany transactions, and exchange control regulation while completing the final efforts of investment. Right, even on with the valuation part. Projected financial for the investment in Mali City over the next 3 years are outlined below. Whole amount are in Maldivian rupiah thousands. We don't defend the exchange rate between the Maldivian rupiah and the Sri Lankan rupee is estimated as follows. Again, belong to the share valuations. The number 13 is financing strategies. Financing strategies. The STL policy is to borrow centrally using a mixture of long-term and short-term capital market sources and borrowing capacity and funding requirement. So we are trying to use both short-term and long-term options. These borrowing and cash generate corporation are loan internally contributed as equity to certain subsidiaries. In addition to regular bank borrowing, STL has recently entered into an agreement with the International Finance Corporation IFC and has assumed loan facility of to $100 million. This funding will be used to expand and enhance broadband connectivity throughout the country. We have the opportunity to assist some international funds now. We have signed an agreement with the IFC to get a loan up to $100 millions. Then tax regime, surely not below our subject. Anyway, we'll go through. Corporate tax is provided that the amount expected to be paid using tax rate and laws that have been enacted or substantially enacted by the reporting period date. Deferred tax is provided in full of temporary funds that exceed the reporting period date. It results in obligation to pay more tax or right to pay less tax in the future. You know about deferred tax adjustment. Deferred tax is measured at the rate expected to be applied in the period in which temporary funds are expected to be reversed based on tax rate and law that are enacted or substantially enacted the reporting period date. Corporate tax rate in Sri Lanka is 30%, correct, no? The 15% in the Maldives. The two countries have entered into a double taxation agreement, thus double tax will be available. In addition to corporate tax, STL as a telecommunication service provider is subject to the following taxes. What are the taxes applicable? Telecommunication levy, government levy, recovery of social security contribution levy, SSCL, VAT. Then risk management, maybe we want to again subject more and we will go through. The group pays various risks that could harm its reputations, financial performance, and operations. These risks vary widely and the key risks are outlined below. Macro events, right? Political change is a macro event. Regulatory compliance and legal. Market and competition network. Information technology and cybersecurity. Financial management. Vendor and supply chain. Human resources. Environmental sustainability. The board of directors is responsible for maintaining a risk management and internal control system and for managing the principal risk faced by the group through risk management under the responsibility of the board. The audit and risk committee of STL is led by a financial expert. Normally, audit committee should be chaired by a financial expert and include 5 additional members. The committee is responsible for overseeing the group financial reporting, risk management, internal control, external personnel, etc. So that's what we know for the committee. The requirement they work to supervise the financial reporting process, risk management, internal controls, external process, and external audit. This includes detailed review of the group main risk and evaluation of the annual report, a series of in-depth assessment across various business units, focusing on their risk and control environment. The committee also monitored the activities and effectiveness of the internal audit function and its primary responsibility to manage the relation with the external auditor. That's the function of the audit commission, not to learn to our subject. Then financial management. The main risks arising from the STL finances liability are foreign exchange, interest rate, market liquidity, finances, social risk. STL is exposed to foreign exchange fluctuation from its operation, foreign people operator and suppliers. Those are risks. These relate to STL translation of foreign currency earning payment and carrying out still overseas operation. A substantial amount of the purchase and liabilities of foreign operation are denominated in foreign currency with local currency operation. Not good situation. If rupee depleted, then our liability will also be increased. It still has established policies, guidelines, and control procedures to effectively manage and report export risks. Then foreign currency risk management. STL use various financial instruments to hedge its foreign exchange risks such as gold, contract, currency option, currency swap, and other derivatives. The hedging method chosen by STL depend on the market currency mode and the objective. Nothing to worry, not relevant also. Corporate governance also not relevant. You can go through. Right. STL aspire to maintain the highest standard of corporate governance as they believe that good governance support long-term value creations. To this end, STL has set up well-defined policies and processes in place to enhance corporate governance and accountability and protect the interests of stakeholders. The board of directors is responsible for STL's corporate governance standard and policies and stressing their importance across the board. The board ensures the highest standard of corporate governance is maintained by developing governance, best practice, and ensuring it's set up by the company. The board meets 12 times a year to discuss these issues, including purpose, culture, people, and stakeholder. This 12 times, that's common law. At least one board meeting is required for a month. That key auditors. Again, below the auditing payment, we will go through that. The auditor has reported the inherent risk associated with the accuracy of amount recorded as STL revenue for financial year due to the statement. Auditor has reported the inherent risk associated with the accuracy of amount. So something wrong with the figures given. Right? Inherent risk is there. Accuracy of the amount recorded. Why? Complexity of information technology system used in billing and the large volume of databases. That is one of the reasons to create inherent risk. Right? We may have very complicated IT systems that are used for billing and the large volume of databases. Next one, impact of changing pricing model and the introduction of new product and tariff regimes. Different revenue recognition policies for rendering service and sale of goods. Then digital transformation of service. Now see this our, you remember the beginning. What was the name of recent? Empowering digital change. Right, empowering digital change. Now, this part, number 19, talk about digital transformation of services. Digital transformation of services. Telecom companies deal with a massive amount of customer data. Companies gather information on how customers use their services, their interaction with the company, and detail of their billing. Now, since telecom companies deal with a massive amount of customer data. Do you agree with that point? Yes. They have so much customer data, right? So even the big data analytics can be done very easily. Inside of the data can be found. The data can be used for different purposes. Companies gather information on how customers use their services, their interaction with the company, and detail of their billing. How the real challenge lies in shipping to this vast data ocean to extract valuable insight and make accurate prediction. The key information, guys. This is so these are the areas Semna is giving hint for you. So big data can be testable. Then look at carefully big data. So he's giving some point, that one data mining. He's talking about the data mining here, right? So there's a more possibility to test big data. Even the data mining, there was a small area you done data mining, right? So read that one again carefully, right? Initially, he said that there are vast amount of data created. There are so much information about the customers. Now, what he here he says, however, the real challenge lies in sipping through this vast data ocean. You want to go through the data, find some insight. Sipping through this vast data ocean to extract valuable insight and make accurate predictions. Go to get some insight. Based on that, you can do some accurate prediction. With the aggressive digitalization of services, recently still has ascertained separate based rapid advancement of wireless innovation and new digital technologies such as 5G, edge computing, artificial intelligence application, and provide interface. So, study about what is 5G, what is edge computing, right? Study about artificial intelligence, right? So, those things can be testable, right? So, even this, the cloud computing. Now, in your study fact, actually, 5G is not given, edge computing not given, AI is also not given. But big data has been given. At the same time, cloud computing has also been. Oh, the applicability of cloud service, cloud computing is also high here. This is here we are talking about telecom service provider. So as a telecom service provider, they can sell the product. Right? Cloud facility can be given to different organizations. For example, private cloud facility can be given with the public cloud, hybrid cloud, with the community cloud. With the ambitious goal of becoming Sri Lanka's premier AI-powered entity, STL focused on catalyzing value creation through comprehensive data and AI initiatives. So if you look at about that particular para, what it says, with the ambitious goal of becoming Sri Lanka's premier AI-powered entity, STL is focused on catalyzing value creation through complex data and AI initiatives. Data, again say data. So big data can be testable. You even have some idea about AI, right? It's a critical area, right? Semna has given many hit for you. He is going to test. The 10%, 10 marks of the technological area surely will be tested on this, right? Then telecom industry statistics and ratios is number 20. Key industry statistic and financial ratios of the telecoms industry are presented below. How much is subscribers? 28 million. Population is only 22 million. But subscriber base is more than that. Number of direct employment in the telecom sector, 9428. How that mobile telecom subscribers can be more than the populations? Can you guess how that can happen? Normally, right, one person is using few SIM, no? For example, right, I have two main SIM. One is Dialog, other one is Mobitel. Then for the data purpose, I'm using another one that is right. Uh, This yeah, yes, using more sales. Right. So debt to equity ratio is 1.4%. Interest cover ratio 1.5%. Net profit ratio debt obligation 7.6%. Revenue growth 3.6%. Net profit growth 167.9%. Right. So after that, the financial information has been given, but less important for our subject. Right. What about current assets and the current liabilities? Right. In this, look at the company information. See this Harlamdi 43414 current assets 37,466. No, there's significant one. What is significant feature in there? Current assets are more than the current. Sorry, current liabilities are more than the current assets. Both company and the group. Look at the group current assets 46,267, but look at this current liabilities 48,054. So that indicates that company is struggling in debt payments. They have taken more debts uh, than the assets. So that is one of the examples. Current liabilities are more than the current assets. The company gearing situation is not good, no? So that indicates weakness, right? But it's not a loss-making company. Company is profitable. At the same time, group is also profitable. The BCC information also given that may more relevant to financial. Right. So we went through the facts given. Any questions, guys, for this? More questions? Right. We'll look at about the summary of the case given also. Those small uh, presentations. Right. Now, if you look at about these organizations, so we have invest in four main businesses now. So we start our business from mobile telecommunications, right? Then we expanded that part of fixed telecommunication, mobile broadband, the digital pay relation. So we are in a four main business, right? Four main business. Now, if you look at about the company overview, Singtel Lanka PLC is one of the largest mobile operator in China. That was mentioned at the beginning. Headquarters in Colombo with 50 million subscribers. Uh, the company was founded in 1999 and they are the market leader in mobile services in 2023. Now, see the missions, what I have done here. When we go through the mission statement here, we didn't find single statement. Sorry, separate the statement for vision and missions. One statement was given for both. Now here I try to divide them. Now look at the missions I have identified. To be a leading communications and digital service provider, be a leading communication and digital service provider, creating a more sustainable future. Now, if you look at about this one, I have done is leading community digital service provider. I have extracted this one. at the same time connected with this part. All right. To be a leading communication and digital service provider, creating a more sustainable future. Then the mission, look at the missions to harness technology to empower people and businesses by making communication easier, faster, and more reliable while delivering value to stakeholders. Now, I have extracted from this, right? See, harness technology empower people and businesses, right? To harness technology empower people and business by making communication easier. But also there, things make communication easier, faster, and more relevant for customer while delivering value to stakeholders. Right? See, this is by making communication easier, faster, and more reliable while delivering value to stakeholders. That one set was divided into two mission and missions. Then core values are given. Actually, you can find that core values here. Right? The integrity, customer first, teamwork, challenger spirit, ownership, growth mindset. Then financial highlights can be found. Revenue 120.05. That's true. Here you can see this. The net profit 10.41. Right. Then earning per share 5.18. ROC 9.80. Debt ratio 71.99. Those are key financial figures. Now the business strategy, if you look at the business strategy, initial focus on mobile. So we start our business in 1999 with the mobile as a mobile player, mobile service provider. But later, we started to engage in fixed telephone, broadband, and TV. Now we are operating 4 segments now: mobile, fixed telephony, broadband, TV. They're now exploring the 100 diversifications. So now they're thinking to diversify the business, thinking about the 100 diversification. For example, they are thinking about to invest in the education sector. The next one is strong service diversification, performance across segment. Strong service diversification, performance across segment, that is given. Acquisitions, they acquire Payphone in 2017, 90% of the ownership. Mr. TV is 100% owned by this organization. Then valuation use P and DSU method respectively. Then diversification into educations. We are thinking to diversify our business into educations. So we consider about 2 options. No? What are the 2 options? First one is acquire Business College Colombo. That is local options. And the Business College is normally for courses for undergraduate and graduate students. Then option 2, establish private campus in Maldives. Again, you can affiliate with UK University and offer some degree program in Maldives. Several discount rate considered due to industry change. Then sustainability and work culture. So 4 pillars related to sustainability was identified. Climate change, community, people, value creations. Then recognize as top employee with trusted leadership team. Risk management. Also given here. So macro events, regulatory, IT, cybersecurity, market condition, finance, risk governance, the board and the audit committee. So a lot of information for the audit committee governance. The digital transformation, important area for our subject, especially digital transformations. They talk about the emphasis on AI, 5G, computing. So I have some idea on each one. The goal become Sri Lanka's premier AI-powered telecom provider, service provider. Become Sri Lanka's premier AI-powered telecom provider. It's strong focus on big data analytics, right? So this is very critical, important area actually. So big data analytics, right? So that can be tested. So big data, there are many areas in your study facts with big data. Be careful on that. Corporate governance information argument, board level led governance with annual review of best practices. 12 board meetings are conducted annually. Audit committee is there. Strong focus on transparency and accountability. So this is the summary of the case study. I will share this one with the CA. Now, so what are the main analysis you can conduct it based on this? Now, any case study actually, you can start from the SWOT analysis. When you conduct a SWOT analysis, you can get an overall view about the organizations. SWOT analysis. Then PESTEL, that will analyze the macro environment we are operating, political, economical, social and cultural, technological, ecological, and legal environment. Analyze here. Then 5 forces analysis. So industry attractiveness can be measured through the 5 process model. Then Mendelometrics can be carried out here. And we can identify the key stakeholders of these organizations. If you remember the Mendelometrics, V854 main group A, B, C, D. D is the key players. Interest is high, power is high. Right. In portfolio analysis, BCG metric and PLC. Both analysis can be done, BCG metrics and the PLC. For example, fixed telephony may be here, right? So low nowadays. That may not be attractive. Then the CSR can be tested in your exam, especially the sustainability aspects. CSR stands, they have the license pair, long-term perspectives, right? With the multiple stakeholder perspectives, right? So that will be considered here, right? CSR aspects, probably they use multiple stakeholder perspectives, right? Then the vision, missions, and values, as I have mentioned earlier. So exam can ask you to market the vision and mission from the given statement, or even we may ask you to improve the vision and mission of this organization. Even he may ask you to suggest some values for this organization. There's also product market expansion metrics. So the model which has been tested more than any other tools in SML subject. Most popular testable area of the XML and so on. Now, for example, they are now planning to enter into education industry. That should be 100 expectations. Right. Then photogenic strategies. Right. Photogenic strategies. What do you think? What is the strategy applied by these organizations? Is there cost leadership or is there differentiations? What do you think? It's very difficult to identify pure strategy here. Right. So you can identify dominant strategy. I think it's differentiations. Right? We try to provide innovative service. We try to provide related service to the customers. Speed, for example. Right? Therefore, I can conclude that the main strategy applied by them is differentiations. In Handy's classification of culture, is that task culture? Is that role culture available in these organizations? Right? Uh, so Handy's classification of culture. Probably, I think the role culture may be available here. Cloud computing is playing an important role here. As I have mentioned earlier, so examiner is having more budget to test cloud computing because the company we are discussing can provide the cloud service facilities. That's the main reasons. Uh, the possibility of testing cloud computing. Then big data analytics can also be tested. So many times it was mentioned. Surely, question from the big data analytics. We tested it. Right. Those are the main analysis you can do. Right. It's time for you to raise questions. What are the questions you are having, guys? I will answer your questions. Any questions, guys? You can do a lot of analysis. In fact, still I'm doing my analysis. Right. So not completed my analysis also. Right. So you can do so many analysis related to this. You try to do all the analysis you can. Right. So that you can get more marks. I think. So because if you look at about this, the question number 3 that is based on uh, the unseen document given, my personal experience 40 to 45 out of 50 can be score exclusive from the pre-seen given. No need to use the unseen part. Right? From the pre-seen itself, you can score 4 to 45 out of 50. That's why it's very important familiarity to pre-seen given. Not only that, it's important to do many analysis as possible from your end and get familiarized. If similar analysis is tested in the exam, then you can answer that part very easily. Right? Any more questions, guys? Right. There are no questions, then we can wind up for the day. Probably is there. Yes, if you have a question, you can raise please. So I'm there for you to answer. If you can on the mic, or you can just send a message. You can send a message, then I can answer. You have questions, you can send a message. Right. Seeing that there are no questions, then we can wind up uh, the sessions. Then thank you very much for joining the sessions and good night for all.